let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Okay, let's go through the agenda here. Approval of the minutes. Did everyone get a chance to take a look at the minutes from the last meeting? Any changes or, any changes to the meeting notes?
A quick question that I asked, are we down to just 4 members?
Yeah, this is Wade. Can people hear me okay?
You sound a long way away, but all right.
Okay, well let me know if you're having problems hearing me. Yeah, we're currently at 4 committee members. We've been that way for a while. My goal is in the next couple months here is to try to find a 5th committee member. And again, we would need somebody from the Verona Road West area, from your district, Dorothy, and I just haven't had a whole lot of luck finding anyone. So if anyone has any recommendations on people to reach out to, I would be happy to entertain those ideas. But we are currently at 4 members, yep.
Okay.
Wait, is there a way, I don't know why it's really echoey though, and it's hard for me to hear you. So I just worry about like when you start talking about the other business, it's gonna be tough to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just check with our TV people. Any thoughts, guys?
If you want to come over here and speak directly into the
Okay, there you
Are you still getting that feedback, Ryan?
Oh,
Yeah, I cannot understand you. I cannot hear you pretty well either.
Should I come over there?
Yeah, or go to the mic next to you and test that one out.
How about now? Is that better?
No.
Can you come 2 more seats in?
Go to, I think, that one right there that's lit up.
How about now?
I don't know. Oh, a little
We're
bit
getting better, but I think there's an open seat next to you. You want to move a little closer?
Is this going to work for the committee, or is it still bad?
It's real echoey, like you're sitting far away.
What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, how is that different than last time? Why is it so different, I guess, noise-wise?
I think it's because Scott's not running the meeting. That's probably why.
I hope I don't have a voice distorting mask on, but I don't know.
That's also been part of the issue too, is masks.
Can you?
And the mic and the microphones are all turned on and all that.
Yeah, he's on his microphone.
Yep. You want me to try over there, or?
I think you're sounding a little better on that microphone. Actually, is that
Okay. So this might be the best we can do, guys. Is this doable?
Okay. I'm going to worry about another 4 o'clock meeting in that room.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you remove your mask?
Is that better?
Maybe.
I think so.
Not much.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a different issue. I don't know what it is though.
Okay. Well, maybe
As we get the meeting rolling and whatnot, it may be a few of us asking you to repeat yourself, but I mean, we're here already, so
yeah,
it should be good.
I'll try to talk slowly. Let me just move my computer over to this mic, so just give me 30 seconds here.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I can move to approve the minutes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, minutes approved. Minutes of the June 17th meeting are approved.
Did we vote?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We didn't vote.
No, we didn't vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No. All right. Next on the agenda, public appearances for non-agenda items. I don't see anyone. So, moving on to item number 4, agenda review. Did everyone have a chance to look at the agenda? Any changes, any additions?
The question that I had is, do we have Fitchburg Fund update as part of this?
Yep, and I
Is
can
that
get it.
reflected in the agenda?
Yeah, I can get into that when we get into agenda item 5A.
Okay.
And just a quick note, we do have another meeting in here at 4 o'clock, so we should try to wrap up a little after 3 o'clock. I'll have to do some cleaning in here, so, and I think that should be manageable, but I just want to let the committee know we do have somewhat of a timeline today.
Okay.
That's fine. Alrighty, so moving on to item number 5, agenda items.
So how do I?
Wade, do you want to?
Yeah, let me just reshare my
Items.
screen here. So people should hopefully see the agenda. And I'm just going to move down to the last page of the packet. And again, if you're having trouble hearing me, just interrupt me and I'll try to talk slower. So this memo essentially identifies city funding allocations since the program's been going. Back in 2017 was when we started. That was a little bit of a different animal back then. But in the past few years, we've kind of standardized things a little bit more. So as you can see, generally speaking, the city allocation has been in the range of, let's say, $45,000 to $63,000. That's been the annual budget allocation. And also to that point, we have had years where there's been some unused funds from previous years. So traditionally, those unused funds have been rolled into the program the next year. So what I did, again, to try to give you guys a sense of what the city's been doing. Obviously, 2021 allocation is what we're here today to identify and make a recommendation on as a committee to our council. In doing some of the math, there is about $5,000 that was unused from 2019 that I didn't find out about until just lately. So if history is a precedent, that $5,000 would be rolled over into the 2021 allocation. So maybe before we move on, I'll just stop there and ask if any questions.
Which grant did that one come from?
That was, if you remember, the Latino Chamber. We had some issues with some reporting, so they left about $5,000 on the table. And then there was I think the boys Big Brothers Big Sisters came in about $30 under their initial ask. So between that and Latino Chamber, we got to about 5,000.
Is that Latino Chamber or Latino Academy?
Latino Chamber.
Okay, I'm looking in the minutes. The awards says Latino Academy of Workforce Development.
In terms of what?
Is that a different one or the same one?
Yeah, so in 2019, we funded Latino Chamber and Latino Academy.
Okay, so that was from the 19.
Yeah, you might be, if you're looking at the minutes, I think from last meeting, I think that's the 2020 awards. So that's
correct.
So we funded Latino Academy again in 2020. Yep. But we're talking about
got it.
2019 award to Latino Chamber that was partially unused. Yep. Okay, so just one other point to Dorothy's point. I think I'm still in discussions with United Way about trying the Fitchburg Fund again next year. They're on a little bit of a different schedule than we are, so they haven't been able to provide me with confirmation yet as to whether or not they want to try again. I should have that answer in the next month or so. All the feedback I've gotten thus far has been positive from them, and I don't want to speak for them, but I think there could be some interest in trying this again next year. So with that in mind, I think it might make sense for the committee to come up with, well, first off, assuming this committee wants to try the Fitchburg Fund again, it might make sense to do 2 recommendations. The first recommendation being like we did in
2020, where we have a total allocation and then a segment of that identified for the Fitchburg Fund. So in 2020, we did 63,000 total, with 15,000 of that to the Fitchburg Fund. So again, assuming the committee wants to try this again next year, I think a recommendation that splits it up into A and B makes sense. But then I guess it probably also makes sense to talk about if either United Way or the city doesn't want to try again. So maybe an option B recommendation would be, just a total 2021 program allocation without any monies identified for the Fitchburg Fund. Does that make sense to the committee, what I just explained?
Yeah, before we get into doing that and making recommendations, just for clarification, to help me understand a little bit more, I'll put it that way. With the Latino Chamber and the money that was found, and I know this year's kind of a beast of its own, so it's going to be kind of neither here nor there, but when they go to report and then you have the interaction with everybody and they submit the receipts, etc., how was it that the money was missed then and we just found it between last week or last time that we met and now?
Yeah.
And what can we do to mitigate that moving forward so that we kind of know what we're working with, and it doesn't sort of get brushed into 2022 moving forward, if that makes sense.
Basically, organizations need to do a better job at meeting our reporting deadlines. And we currently don't have any sticks to do that. So that was just a case of, just reporting being a little bit tardy, and then when it was submitted, it was not the original award. So that was just kind of the nature of the beast, I guess. Again, moving forward and working on this program, I hope we can find ways to encourage more timely reporting. But yeah, that's just kind of the way it is right now.
Perfect. You actually hit the nail right on the head. I just want to bring light to, and then we can move forward. We had spoke last month when we all got together about potentially having organizations that we award or fund for consecutive years, like giving them an allotted amount. But I think this actually is the perfect time to say that if there is any issues with accounting or submitting receipts, et cetera, there's got to be some type of penalty or dropping them moving forward, because having somebody make that, $5,000 is quite a bit to lose. And then if we're going to be funding them back to back to back, I think there's got to be some type of repercussion that's happened if we go that route. I just want to bring that to the table.
Yep, and I do want to clarify, Latino Chamber, Latino Academy, we've funded for many years. And this is a different organization. This is Latino Chamber, so just to clarify that. And again, nothing against any of these groups. I think they're all they're great organizations. But yeah, this was just a circumstance that happened this year. And as a city that administers, the program, I will continue to find ways to make sure this is a really efficient program and uses our city's money responsibly. So, yep. So, yeah, I guess, great point, Nate. Appreciate it. Any other questions or thoughts on what the committee's doing here today?
Yeah, I have a question and a concern because, my concern is if we going to ask for another $15,000 for, for the Fitchburg Fund, but we, personally, it took us, I don't know, Dorothy's weakness, a lot of, we had to fight very hard last year in our budget for this $15,000.
Yep.
And then we didn't do anything this year with this money. We didn't do anything. So how we're gonna come back to the council and say, we need another $15,000 or $20,000 for the Fitchburg Fund, United Way. So
yep.
This one is my only concern about this, because so far,
yeah.
we don't even have a member from the west side of the Verona Road in our committee. You know what I mean? So. Yeah,
no, I would agree with that, Julia, and also to add on to that, it was a lot of work from staff. There was a lot of work involved in getting the Fitchburg Fund off the ground, And I think, yeah, we didn't see the returns we were hoping for. Yeah, so yep.
I think the only way that I would prefer that we continue with the Fitchburg Fund if the United Way is gonna put the Fitchburg Fund in their annual campaign. You know, so we should be another box where people can click and say, I want my money to go to the Fitchburg, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
This, I think this is the only way that we are gonna have more money invested in that fund, and it's gonna be simple from them and from us. It's gonna be way simple for them, you know, because they don't need to do extra campaign for our fund. It's gonna be part of the annual campaign. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I think what could happen is, you know, maybe the Fitchburg Fund could actually be like, it could happen ahead. So kind of what I'm saying is, you know, the Fitchburg Fund could just go out and raise, United Way could go out and raise money. Let's say they do that again this year, and then when we make our 2022 allocation from the city, whatever they've raised, you know, would go into that city allocation. So it's not really about, you know, a city match. It's more about United Way raising funds and then pooling that with whatever the city decides to put into the program. Does that make sense?
okay.
So I guess kind of where I'm going with that is, you know, this committee wouldn't need to identify, you know, a portion of that money that would go into the Fitchburg Fund. It's just more about, you know, if United Way wants to raise money for this grant program, then we pool it into the grant program allocation for next year.
Okay, so what do you want for us to give us what?
Well, I guess, what I said, did that make sense, or do people understand that, or no?
Can you just repeat that real quick?
Yeah,
Well,
please.
I guess the idea would be, let's say today, the committee says we want $60,000 from the budget, but we also want to continue the United Way Fitchburg Fund partnership, okay? But none of that 60 grand is earmarked for anything. It's just, you know, it's there next year to use. But then what United Way could do is go out and continue their campaign to raise funds this year or next year. And then let's say next year they've raised $10,000. That could just go into, I guess, the 2021 award bucket. So now we've got 60 grand plus from the city, plus 10 grand from United Way for 70 grand total. And the city can use that in the manner that we wish to advance our program. So, I mean,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
I am fine with that.
Yeah.
So really, it's about, I guess you could say it's a little bit of a semantical exercise, meaning we still want to work with United Way. We're just, as a city, saying we're not going to segregate, you know, a portion of our grant program as a match. It's more about United Way, you know, what can you bring to the table? And then whatever you bring to the table, we will find a good use for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's fine with me.
So really, it's just continuing this partnership with United Way.
Yeah, and I think maybe, again, we'll get to this, but, you know, maybe a formal motion or recommendation would be whatever you guys want in terms of a city budget allocation, you know, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand. So that's part A of the recommendation. And part B is to continue to work with United Way to have them raise funds for the program. And then whatever they raise, you know, would be added on to the initial city allocation. And this is all subject to United Way's approval as well, but that could be one approach. So let's call that approach A. Approach B could just say, forget about the Fitchburg Fund. We just want to do the 40, 50, or 60 grand from the city.
Okay. Do we need do we need a formal motion then
No,
to?
but we haven't discussed yet how much money we are gonna ask in the budget.
I think as a committee liaison, I think a first point of discussion would be, do you want to continue the Fitchburg Fund? And if
Right.
so, in the manner I just described, or in a different manner? And then I think the second piece is, how much do you want to ask from the city budget to be the 2021 program funding? Does that make sense, Ryan?
Yeah, that does.
And then I think,
From the
yeah, just
2020
having a
Oh, okay.
discussion with the committee about
So,
this.
look, yeah, why don't we go ahead and discuss, do we want to continue this type of partnership with United Way? What are people's thoughts on that?
I would like to give it another year.
Yeah, I would like to continue because I want to see what we can do. We haven't done anything yet, so to be, you know what I mean? So we need to first do something and see if it's worth it, you know what I mean? So,
Well, another part of the conversation is what's happening with this year's. So, but that would not be part of the motion we're discussing.
Yeah, and just to clarify, we are still on track. Again, the idea would be, I need to get council approval of that RFP, and then once I get that in, hopefully the next month or so, we would put the RFP out for publication. We would get response to that RFP. Then we will have another committee meeting, let's say early fall, for this committee to review those proposals and pick one or recommend one. And then I take that recommendation to the council. Hopefully they approve it, and then we have our program and service provider, and we've got our funding to fund them. So that process is set. We just haven't completed it yet for this year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all for continuing partnership and seeing, what can come of it. I want to give it another year and see if we can make some good stuff happen with it.
I agree.
So I think I am going to move that we put $60,000 in the budget for next year for the main grant program. If council wants to whittle that down, we can let them do that. But we should probably start asking high since we have had so much interest. And then the second part of that is to maintain the commitment to working with United Way without at this point specifying how that continuing program would work, including the amount of money we'd be talking about.
Okay, so we got a motion from Dorothy. Do we have a second?
can we okay, I disagree with the 60,000. I will go $100,000.
I see your 100,000.
You gonna raise her?
Okay,
Whatever.
so on and off the record, just out of curiosity, because I can't remember from previous years, is somewhere between 100 and 60,000 feasible for the council if they were to see these numbers? And especially with Dorothy saying that you think that we've got such great traction with a lot of people interested in this program actually coming to fruition. So is that a sustainable amount to ask for, or is the 100,000 okay? Or I just want a little bit more clarification, because if it's better to shoot higher, then hey, 100 grand, let's go for it, I guess.
I think that, if we consider how much is the average demand, it's $100,000. That one is, and I believe that last year in total was around 68,000. So I think we need to go higher. And then if we go to 100 and then the council decided to go to 80, okay, we are already winning. You know what I mean? So, and I am pretty confident, and I'm gonna fight very hard this year again to get these funds, and I assume Dorothy is gonna do the same. I think this is a great program. And what we need to understand is we are seeing a lot of issue in the city lately. We need more after school programming. We need to work more with mentoring youth people. We need to do more of those in our trouble neighborhoods, and $50,000 is not gonna cut it. So I'm sorry. So this is my
I could-
personal opinion. This is how I see it. There is a lot of going on in the city right now, with a lot of criminal activity, people, especially youth people, not having anything to do, and the pandemic is making this thing worse. And, maybe we don't have to do a volleyball court or a tennis court next year. You know what I mean? But if we can use those funds to fund the Healthy Neighborhood Initiative, Julia, will be happier to do that. So this is my personal opinion.
I could support that. I could support trying to shoot for 100,000, especially given the environment that we're in right now, and we just know that a lot of families are struggling, and that's going to impact families. It's going to impact neighborhoods. So I could see trying to make that case for 2021.
I'd be willing to argue that with council. So if we want 100 for our starting point, I still think that they're going to hack that apart, and they may laugh at even suggesting doubling it, but all we can do is try, and they're certainly not going to give us more than we ask. So I would take it as a friendly amendment to change that to 100,000.
I think we need
with
to
some
fight
minor reservations.
I think we need to fight the good trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's really easy to cite the amount of interest that we have, and the fact that it has been an outrageously a program that has been really, really well used, and I think we can do a lot more with it. So.
Could I just ask a question?
It's just a really big number.
Yeah. And maybe this is a discussion for another day, but I'm going to bring it up now. I guess at some point I'm wondering if the committee is interested in discussing the neighborhood navigator program in more detail, with the ultimate goal of exploring, is there a city role in expanding that program with some additional funding? So right now, and I think folks know what our navigator program is about. I think it's a great program, but right now it's solely funded by county dollars. We've got about 20 grand a year to fund about 30 hours a week between two navigators at like $13 an hour. And in my opinion, and I say this, I don't say this negatively at all, but Carmen and Elizabeth, our navigators, they weren't trained in this work. And there's professional people that have master's degrees that are doing work similar to what they do. So at some level, we're asking, non-professionals to do professional level work. So I'm just gonna throw that out there as a thought. We don't need to discuss it now, but as we continue to talk about this grant program, the H&I big picture, and the pieces of it, I just want to, again, throw that out there for consideration at some point.
I'm one of those that you're referring to with a master's degree that's out there doing the same kind of or similar style work. So I would definitely be interested in having that conversation and that dialogue. And I guess to sort of summarize, also maybe talking about expanding the program or figuring out a way or innovative way to be able to get either rather be more hours with a little bit more jurisdiction, or more bodies to be able to cover more space. I think that's definitely a conversation that we should be able to have, and I'd love to be a part of it.
And the other thing that we need to talk way in the future is maybe next year, we need to talk about, we are gonna need to create another area for the Southdale
Yep,
from the town of Madison. So we need to have all that discussion too.
yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So should we go ahead, Dorothy, you amended your motion, should we go ahead and move forward? Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second the friendly amendment motion.
All right, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No opposed. Okay, so we're moving forward with the $100,000. We're gonna approach council for $100,000 for that and continue partnership with United Way.
So quick, Ryan, when does that happen? Do we know?
So let me think here. I believe last year, oh, okay. So basically what's happening now is departments are creating our draft budgets. So I believe the deadline for I'm in the planning and zoning department. Our deadline is next Monday, or this coming Monday. So I will get this number into our draft budget, and then it'll go through the staff review process. And Julie and Dorothy helped me out, but then I believe there's a mayor's recommended budget that comes out of that process. And then that budget gets debated before council, and then council by majority vote approves a budget by sometime in November of this year. So we're basically at the beginning stages of all this, Nate. This is just a recommendation. And we'll see where it goes.
And the mayor can say, no, 100,000, I'm gonna put only 50, but then we can bring this back as an alder with amendments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like last year,
Yeah,
the mayor took the 15,000 for the Fitchburg fund, and I put an amendment, and then I got support, and it was approved in the budget night, okay? So it can happen that he say, no, you know, I don't agree with this 100,000, I agree with, I don't know, 60, 40, or whatever, but then we elders have the opportunity to put it back as an amendment, and then have the discussion with the council.
Okay.
Hey, and one other,
And there are also a number of opportunities for public comment. So Nate,
Yeah,
we'll be
exactly.
looking at you.
Me and Ryan will be there front and center. We got you.
and then I guess just
There you go.
one other clarification. So I will pass it on to my supervisor who prepares our budget. And then I will also state that we want that $5,000 rolled over. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
So
of course.
My other question about that was whether we would want to talk about adding that 5,000 into the 18 for the RFP.
Okay.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about, and a need that I've been seeing, and Joe Maldonado and I have been visiting with some of the Verona school people, talking about kids that have fallen off the radar with virtual school. And what I would like to see what the proposal that we get back, what I would like is to have someone looking to set up a tutoring program to find those kids and corral them, work with them through any trauma-related issues that they have that are getting in the way of being able to participate, and just help bring these kids back up to speed. From the last semester, they've already fallen behind. As soon as school starts again, they're going to fall even further behind. And I want to make sure that we're doing all we can to catch them and help them. I know that might be the school's thing, but I think we can throw in and help out I did send a note asking our contact at the schools whether there's a nonprofit that they work with that we should encourage to fill out the RFP once it's available. So I want to strongly recommend that that be a focus of our grant money approval.
Okay.
Okay.
And the question that opened that little soapbox speech was whether we want to talk about putting that remnant from 2019 into that RFP budget. And take that up to a little under, what, 23?
Yeah, I am fine.
Yeah.
I
That
think
makes
it's a
sense.
great idea.
Maybe we should, yeah, maybe that should probably, maybe take a vote on that, Ryan, or just make a motion on that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you wanna make the motion, Dorothy?
Sure, I'll move it.
Okay. Second, add that remaining funds to the other the 18,000.
Second.
Second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No opposed. Motion passes.
Thank you.
All righty. Are we moving on to other business, Wade? No?
Yeah, unless there's any other thoughts on 5A.
No.
Okay.
Nothing?
Yeah, and I guess this is an opportunity just for the committee, if you guys want to chime in with anything. Again, we kind of had a short targeted meeting here, and I appreciate you guys reconvening on relatively short notice. Yeah, I guess just from my perspective, I will continue with the Fitchburg Fund. And we're probably looking at the next committee meeting, maybe early this fall. So we'll talk, that's where you'll recommend a RFP provider. And then we'll also hopefully discuss 2021 program improvements and then, make recommendations on those as well. So I think one more committee meeting this year, and then I think you guys will be done.
Okay. Sounds good.
I have a question. You are coming, Wade, for the committee of the whole on August 20, what is the name,
Yeah.
day, 26?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I was going to announce that. So, Juliet, chime in if you'd like. But August 26th at 6:30 p.m. I imagine it'll be a remote meeting again as well. But staff will be providing an update on the Healthy Neighborhoods Initiative to the Common Council. So we'll talk about the grant program. We'll talk about the neighborhood navigators. I'll talk about some park planning we're doing, some neighborhood center planning. So we will certainly, I'll pass on that link when it becomes available, and if folks want to attend, I think Julia mentioned at the last meeting, it'd be great, we could maybe introduce you guys if you do attend, just kind of recognize the good work you're doing on our grant committee. So yeah, we'll just, I guess, throw that out there as well.
And Wade, can you invite at least 2 organizations to come and speak?
Yeah, good point. I've actually already extended an invite to 3 organizations.
Okay.
They have all
Which one?
They have all accepted and are looking forward to it. So yeah, we're going to have a lot going on that night.
So is that by Zoom or that's in person?
It'll be like this
Yes.
meeting where you can come in person, but you can also Zoom. So
Yeah.
when I have that Zoom link, I will we'll forward that on to you.
Okay.
Wade, which are all those organizations?
So as of now, Latino Academy, Badger Prairie Needs Network, and Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh, okay.
And what I like
Nice.
about those groups is they're all in different neighborhoods. You've got, kind of a big established nonprofit in Big Brothers Big Sisters that focuses on youth. And then you've got, Latino Academy, which is smaller scale, They focus on minorities and more adults. And then Badger Prairie Needs Network, they focus on everybody, and they just want to get people fed. So I think between those two organizations, it's a great spectrum of, groups that the city funds that are doing all sorts of good work that collectively, really advance this initiative. So, and the people that'll be coming are all, some of you know them, they're really solid people. I think they're gonna impress our council with the work they've done, so.
Okay.
So, wait, how do we join that, or how do we,
We are
Where-
gonna
where will
send
the-
you, we are gonna send you an invite because if you want to participate, you need to have a Zoom that
Yeah.
we use, you know what I mean? It's not,
oh,
you're gonna receive an invite, a Zoom invite, that you can, okay?
Yeah, probably just
Okay.
like this meeting,
Yeah,
Brian, we'll, if you do want to attend and you want to be introduced, we'll get that set up for you so you can do that, no problem. And so, I'll work with our TV people and we'll get that information to you.
okay. Yeah, I'd be interested in attending, so, it sounds good.
And Nate, are you gonna come too?
Yep, just send me the link.
Okay,
I'm not sure
okay.
if I can physically be there, but the Zoom calling in sounds great.
Yeah,
So the
okay.
26th at 6:30, correct?
No, 7 o'clock.
Oh, 7, okay.
Seven.
Oh. 7:00, okay.
And Julia,
26th.
What?
would it just be an hour for that? Is that correct?
Yes, an hour,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Because I have someone else is speaking in that meeting, I don't remember.
okay, sounds good.
Oh, we are discussing the memo from the housing committee.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you can just send us the invite, that would be great. Anything else to report? Where are we at? Report? The report
Yeah,
from
I
the
guess,
department? or-
again, just stay tuned for a next meeting. I will, we'll have the August 26th council meeting, and then we'll have another committee meeting sometime
Okay.
after that, and I'll keep you guys updated on all those things.
And
Okay.
wait, I have a question.
Okay?
So what happened with the 2019 report? Did you send a summary to the elders about who were the awardee and what they did and the output?
Yeah, I've got that all, I've got that. I haven't put it together in a nice, complete memo, but I'll have that
Okay.
ready for the August meeting.
Yeah. Can we have that by that August 26 meeting?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to, are we at announcements? Is that it?
Yep.
Anything to announce?
I think anything that we had was already covered.
Okay. So, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I
No
move.
one? And the second?
Second.
I
don't
can
know.
second.
All right, great. All right, and I'll approve, I'm lost.
I get it.
Do we do that? I'll approve? Aye. Any opposed? Nay. All right. Motion adjourned. We made it. We got through it, guys.